Prepare yourself, you're not here by chance. This moment is no accident. You were meant to find this spiritual message, and it's no coincidence that you're here now. God has a message for you, a powerful warning, and a call to awaken. The truth revealed in this video is not just for anyone, it's for those who are ready to embrace their destiny and unlock a deeper understanding of their life's purpose. Stay until the very end, because by the time you finish, you will have gained something extraordinary, a crucial key to completing your spiritual path. This isn't just another video. It's an invitation to transform, to rise above your current circumstances, and to discover the missing piece you've been searching for. Get ready, because what you're about to hear could change everything. The Chosen One's journey speaks to something deeply embedded in the human psyche, the desire to be special, to have a purpose, and to matter in the grand scheme of things. This archetype has appeared in countless forms, from religious figures like Moses and the Buddha, who were seen as chosen to bring spiritual enlightenment, to literary and cinematic heroes like Harry Potter and Luke Skywalker, who faced momentous trials to fulfill their destinies. These stories reflect an enduring truth. Every person has moments in life where they feel called to rise above ordinary circumstances, to be more than they currently are. The Chosen One's journey resonates with something deep within us all, a longing to be part of something larger than ourselves, to transcend our limitations, and to play a vital role in the unfolding story of life. This yearning for significance is not simply about being special in a superficial sense. It is about having a purpose that infuses life with meaning and a sense of destiny. When we see the archetype of the Chosen One emerge in stories across cultures and eras, we are witnessing a reflection of the timeless human quest for self-actualization and spiritual fulfillment. Whether embodied in myth, religion, or modern storytelling, this archetype speaks to a universal truth. Every person will face trials that challenge them to step into their higher potential, to respond to the call to greatness. Yet, as inspiring as this idea is, the path is fraught with peril, and many who feel called ultimately fail to rise to the occasion. The Chosen One's journey is not merely a story about individual triumph over adversity. It represents a profound spiritual test that asks us to confront the very core of who we are. This test does not come in the form of a single grand moment, but is woven into the fabric of everyday life. Through our struggles, our fears, our decisions, and our interactions. It is in the ordinary where the extraordinary is often found. The challenge is recognizing the trials for what they are and responding with courage and authenticity. At the heart of the Chosen One's journey is the battle within, the struggle to overcome inner doubts, insecurities, and the fear of failure. Before any external foe is vanquished or trial overcome, the most significant challenges arise from within. This internal conflict is present in every story of a Chosen One. Whether it is Luke Skywalker resisting the temptation of the dark side or Moses questioning his worthiness to lead his people to freedom, these figures must face their inner demons, the darker aspects of themselves that threaten to derail their quest. For those of us on our spiritual journeys, the inner battle may not involve literal lightsabers or divine miracles, but it is no less daunting. It may be the struggle to let go of a harmful habit, the fear of stepping into a new career, or the pain of confronting past traumas. These trials test our commitment to growth, asking whether we are willing to endure discomfort and sacrifice in pursuit of something greater. The failure to engage with these inner struggles often leads to stagnation, as we allow fear to dictate the course of our lives. The Chosen One's journey teaches us that true power comes not from avoiding challenges, but from facing them head-on, using each experience as an opportunity to transcend our limitations. One of the most profound temptations that the Chosen One encounters is the allure of the easy path. This path offers comfort, safety, and the illusion of contentment. In spiritual terms, it is the voice that says, "Stay where you are. You don't need to change." For Harry Potter, it was the option to live a normal life, never fully embracing his destiny as a wizard. For Siddhartha Gautama, who became the Buddha, it was the temptation to live a life of royal luxury instead of pursuing enlightenment. These figures had to choose between what was easy and what was meaningful, between superficial comfort and profound transformation. The easy path is deceptive because it offers a sense of peace and fulfillment without the demands of sacrifice or struggle. Yet, this path ultimately leads to a deeper kind of suffering: the regret of a life unlived, the pain of potential wasted, and the haunting knowledge that one has not fulfilled their true purpose. The chosen one's journey compels us to reject this illusion and embrace the trials that come with pursuing a higher calling. It is a reminder that comfort is not synonymous with happiness, and that true fulfillment comes from rising to life's challenges, not avoiding them. Every chosen one's story features a moment when all seems lost, when hope fades and the weight of the journey becomes overwhelming. This is often referred to as the dark night of the soul, a term used by mystics to describe a period of profound spiritual crisis. In these moments, the chosen one feels abandoned, defeated, and unsure of how to proceed. Yet, it is within this darkness that the seeds of transformation are sown. The dark night of the soul is not the end, but a turning point. It is a stripping away of illusions, a process of shedding old identities and beliefs that no longer serve one's growth. It is the moment when one is forced to confront the raw truth of their existence and choose whether to surrender to despair or to rise with renewed determination. For those undergoing their own spiritual tests, the dark night of the soul may manifest as depression, loss, or a crisis of faith. It is a period that forces one to look inward, to question deeply held assumptions, and to emerge with a new understanding of oneself and the world. While this phase is painful, it is also transformative. It allows for the possibility of rebirth and serves as the gateway to higher levels of consciousness and purpose. The chosen one must often take a leap of faith, stepping into the unknown without the assurance of success. This moment is symbolic of the surrender to a higher power or purpose, where logic and reason are set aside, and trust in something greater is embraced. In mythology, this is represented by the hero crossing a threshold, venturing into uncharted territory where the rules of the old world no longer apply. For Moses, it was the crossing of the Red Sea. For Neo in the Matrix, it was taking the red pill and awakening to the truth of his reality. In everyday life, the leap of faith may be a decision to leave a stable job in pursuit of a passion, to end a relationship that no longer aligns with one's values, or to embark on a spiritual practice that challenges deeply held beliefs. These moments require courage, for they are acts of letting go of the familiar in favor of the unknown. The leap of faith is essential because it signifies trust in the journey itself. It demonstrates a willingness to be vulnerable, to risk failure, and to embrace the possibility of transformation. The culmination of the chosen one's journey is not merely achieving personal growth, but returning to the world to share the lessons learned. This is the moment of integration, where the wisdom gained from trials is used to benefit others. In mythological terms, this is often depicted as the hero returning home with a boon or sacred knowledge that has the power to heal or transform the community. In The Lord of the Rings, Frodo returns to the Shire, but he is forever changed by his experiences. He cannot return to the way things were before. Instead, he brings back a deeper understanding of life, sacrifice, and resilience. For those of us on our spiritual journeys, the return may involve using our newfound insights to help others who face similar trials. It is about embodying the change we wish to see in the world and recognizing that our growth is not an isolated event, but part of a larger collective awakening. The chosen one's journey becomes complete not when the trials are over, but when the individual uses their transformation to inspire, guide, and uplift others. One of the greatest obstacles in the chosen one's journey is the fear of failure. This fear can be paralyzing, causing individuals to hesitate at critical moments, to doubt their abilities, and to retreat into inaction. The chosen one must learn that failure is not the opposite of success, but an integral part of the journey. Each setback is a teacher, offering valuable lessons that refine one's character and resolve. To fear failure is to fear life itself, for life is inherently uncertain and unpredictable. Embracing the possibility of failure requires a shift in perspective. Rather than seeing failure as a dead end, it should be viewed as a stepping stone, a necessary part of the learning process. The most successful figures in history, whether spiritual leaders, artists, or scientists have faced numerous failures before achieving their breakthroughs. What set them apart was their willingness to continue in the face of adversity, to learn from their mistakes, and to keep moving forward despite the odds. In a broader sense, the chosen one's journey is not limited to individual experience. Humanity as a whole faces spiritual tests that challenge us to rise above collective fears, divisions, and destructive behaviors. The current era presents unprecedented global challenges, from environmental crises to social injustices, which call for a collective leap of faith and a willingness to transform our way of life. The story of the chosen one is, therefore, not just a personal myth, but a call to humanity to awaken to its shared destiny and to rise to the occasion as a species. The collective spiritual test asks us to move beyond self-interest and embrace a vision of interconnectedness and shared responsibility. It challenges us to confront the darker aspects of our greed, hatred, and apathy, and to cultivate the qualities of compassion, wisdom, and unity. In this sense, each person is a chosen one, called to contribute their unique gifts and insights to the healing of the world. The chosen one's journey is a powerful metaphor for the spiritual path we all walk. It reminds us that life's trials are not random hardships, but meaningful tests that offer opportunities for growth, transformation, and the fulfillment of our highest potential. To answer the call is to accept the inevitability of struggle, to face our inner and outer demons, and to emerge. Psychologically, the chosen one archetype can be linked to Carl Jung's concept of individuation, where a person undergoes a transformative journey towards self-realization. In this light, the trials faced by the chosen one symbolize the internal struggles individuals must overcome to achieve their full potential. The obstacles are not just physical or external. They are internal battles with doubt, fear, and temptation. The journey thus becomes a path to self-discovery and mastery, inviting all who encounter it to reflect on their own capacity to rise to the occasion. The chosen one archetype is not only a reflection of cultural and spiritual themes, but also resonates deeply with the psychological process described by Carl Jung as individuation. Jungian psychology emphasizes the journey toward integrating the various parts of the self-conscious and unconscious, light and shadow, to achieve wholeness. In this light, the trials faced by the chosen one are metaphors for the inner struggles that arise during the individuation process, challenges that must be confronted for the individual to move toward self-realization and fully embody their true potential. In the story of the chosen one, the trials encountered symbolize the aspects of the psyche that must be integrated and harmonized. These may include overcoming deep-seated fears, acknowledging and transforming one's shadow aspects, and navigating periods of existential crisis. The narrative of facing monsters, demons, or dark forces often represents the internal confrontation with one's own shadow, the repressed or unacknowledged parts of the psyche that must be reconciled for true growth to occur. As the chosen one engages in these internal battles, they draw closer to a more complete and authentic self, embodying the qualities of a true hero or enlightened being. According to Jung, the shadow represents the parts of ourselves that we reject or fail to recognize. It is composed of qualities, desires, and impulses that we find uncomfortable or unacceptable. For the chosen one, the journey to confront external darkness is often a reflection of an inner confrontation with the shadow self. The demons and dark forces symbolize those parts of the individual that must be brought into conscious awareness, understood, and integrated. Failure to confront the shadow often leads to psychological stagnation, where unresolved conflicts and unaddressed fears block personal growth. For the chosen one, this could mean succumbing to temptation, losing sight of their purpose, or being overwhelmed by self-doubt. This stage in the journey serves as a critical test, asking whether one can confront the darkness within and integrate it rather than being consumed by it. The ability to face the shadow and emerge stronger is a significant step toward individuation, as it involves accepting the totality of one's being, both strengths and weaknesses. In Jungian terms, the hero's journey is not about eradicating the shadow, but transforming it. This transformation involves taking the energy from negative or destructive impulses and redirecting it toward creative and constructive ends. For the chosen one, this means turning anger into courage, fear into wisdom, and pain into compassion. Each trial and encounter with darkness thus becomes a valuable experience that contributes to the chosen one's maturation and ultimate realization of their true self. Jung argued that the human psyche is structured around universal archetypes, which are recurring symbols and themes that emerge across different cultures and mythologies. The chosen one archetype embodies many of these universal symbols, such as the hero, the mentor, the shadow, and the trickster. Each archetype plays a role in the chosen one's journey, representing different aspects of the psyche and stages of psychological development. The mentor archetype, for instance, symbolizes the wise guide within the individual, the inner voice of wisdom that provides counsel during times of uncertainty. This archetype is often represented by figures such as Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings or Yoda in Star Wars, who guide the hero toward self-discovery. Psychologically, these mentors represent the self, the central archetype in Jungian psychology that encompasses the totality of the psyche and guides the process of individuation. Similarly, the trickster archetype often appears as a challenge or distraction, testing the chosen one's resolve and forcing them to think in new ways. This archetype embodies the unpredictability and chaos that must be navigated on the path to self-realization. For the chosen one, encountering the trickster is an invitation to embrace adaptability, question rigid beliefs, and find creative solutions to seemingly insurmountable problems. A significant theme in the chosen one's journey is the death-rebirth cycle, a process of symbolic death and renewal that marks profound transformation. This cycle is present in myths, religious stories, and modern narratives, symbolizing the shedding of an old identity and the emergence of a new, more integrated self. For the chosen one, this is often the point of greatest struggle, where they must let go of previous limitations, beliefs, or attachments to be reborn as a more authentic version of themselves. The rebirth experience can be understood as a passing away ego, a psychological process in which the chosen one releases identification with the ego's narrow perspective and embraces a more expansive understanding of their identity and purpose. This can be a disorienting and frightening experience, as it involves relinquishing control and surrendering to a process that is beyond the ego's comprehension. Yet, it is through this surrender that true transformation occurs. In many spiritual traditions, this process is seen as an essential aspect of enlightenment or awakening, where the individual transcends the false self and aligns with their true nature. In everyday life, individuals may experience this cycle through periods of profound change, such as losing a job, ending a significant relationship, or undergoing a spiritual awakening. These experiences often feel like a kind of death, where the familiar is stripped away, and one is left to navigate an uncertain future. However, they also provide the opportunity for rebirth, as they force a reevaluation of one's values, beliefs, and sense of purpose. The chosen one's journey thus serves as a mirror, reflecting the potential for growth and renewal that lies within each individual. A fundamental aspect of the chosen one's journey is the role of free will. While the hero may be chosen or called to fulfill a particular destiny, the journey itself is shaped by the choices they make along the way. The concept of destiny in these narratives is not about predetermined outcomes, but about potential paths that unfold based on the individual's decisions. The trials faced by the chosen one are not merely tests of skill or strength. They are tests of character and will, revealing the depth of one's commitment to their path. This focus on choice underscores a critical spiritual and psychological truth. Growth is not automatic. It requires conscious participation and a willingness to engage with life's challenges. The chosen one must continually choose to rise to the occasion, to face fear rather than flee from it, to embrace discomfort for the sake of transformation. Each choice shapes the journey, determining whether the individual will succumb to stagnation or emerge as a fully realized being. The ability to choose in the face of adversity is what distinguishes the true hero from the one who merely wears the mask of a hero. It is not enough to be chosen. One must choose to be worthy of the calling. This resonates with the Jungian idea that individuation is a deliberate process of self-engagement, where one actively works to integrate the conscious and unconscious aspects of the psyche rather than passively allowing life to shape them. Temptation is a recurring theme in the journey of the chosen one, often presenting itself as an easier path, a seductive offer of power, or an escape from suffering. The temptation serves as a test of integrity, challenging the chosen one to remain true to their higher purpose despite the allure of immediate gratification or safety. This theme is present in many spiritual traditions, such as the temptations faced by Christ in the wilderness or the offers of power made to Siddhartha Gautama before he attained enlightenment. Psychologically, temptation represents the pull of the ego, which seeks to avoid discomfort, maintain control, and fulfill desires. To resist temptation is to prioritize long-term growth over short-term comfort, to choose the arduous path of self-transformation over the easy path of complacency. The chosen one's ability to resist temptation reflects their readiness to transcend the limitations of the ego and align with their deeper, more authentic self. The culmination of the chosen one's journey is the emergence of the true self, a state of being in which the individual has integrated the various aspects of their psyche and aligned with their higher purpose. In Jungian terms, this is the realization of the self, the central archetype that represents wholeness, balance, and the integration of opposites. The trials faced along the journey are necessary for this emergence, as they provide the experiences needed to reconcile inner conflicts and develop a cohesive sense of identity. The emergence of the true self is not an endpoint but a continuous process of growth and evolution. Even after the hero has achieved a significant transformation, the journey continues as they integrate their newfound wisdom into everyday life. This reflects the reality that individuation is an ongoing process, where each new experience presents opportunities for deeper understanding and further integration. In life, this may be seen when individuals, having undergone profound personal change, return to their communities not just as successful or enlightened but as agents of change who inspire others to embark on their own journeys. The chosen one archetype thus serves as both a model and a challenge, inviting each of us to consider the trials in our lives as opportunities for growth and to ask ourselves whether we, too, will rise to the occasion. The chosen one's journey speaks to the universal human experience of growth, transformation, and the quest for self-realization. Through psychological trials, spiritual tests, and moments of profound decision, this archetype mirrors the journey that each person must undertake to achieve. The essence of the chosen one's story lies in the trials they endure. Trials are not merely tests of strength or intellect. They are transformational experiences that fundamentally change the hero. Consider the myth of King Arthur, whose worthiness was tested by the trials of pulling the sword from the stone and leading the knights of the Round Table. His greatness was not inherent but developed through the choices he made and the sacrifices he endured. Similarly, in the story of Job from the Bible, trials served not as punishments but as a means to refine and deepen faith, revealing a profound spiritual truth. Trials are the fires that temper the soul. From a psychological perspective, this concept aligns with the idea of post-traumatic growth, where adversity leads to a deeper appreciation of life, enhanced personal strength, and a reevaluation of priorities. While suffering itself is not desirable, it can be a powerful teacher. The chosen one's journey reveals that trials are not just obstacles to be overcome, but are necessary elements that shape and mold the individual into someone capable of fulfilling their destiny. In religious traditions, the notion of being chosen often involves a divine or supernatural element. Figures like Moses, who was called by God to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, or the prophet Muhammad, who received divine revelation to guide his people, are seen as fulfilling roles that go beyond human capabilities. However, their stories emphasize that being chosen does not exempt one from struggle. Rather, it amplifies the trials faced. The spiritual dimension of the chosen one's journey illustrates the paradox of divine selection. While the call may come from a higher power, the response and perseverance lie in human agency. The story of the Bodhisattva in Buddhism, who voluntarily chooses to endure suffering and remain in the cycle of rebirth to help others attain enlightenment, demonstrates that being chosen is not just about individual salvation, but about serving a greater good. This underscores a crucial aspect of the chosen one's journey. Rising to the occasion often means embracing the suffering of others, embodying compassion, and taking responsibility for the well-being of the community. The chosen one narrative is not confined to mythology and religion. History is replete with individuals who rose to the occasion during critical moments. Figures such as Joan of Arc, who led France to victory under divine guidance, or Nelson Mandela, who endured decades of imprisonment before leading South Africa out of apartheid, embody the trials and transformations associated with the chosen one archetype. Their stories remind us that greatness is not a matter of birthright, but of responding to the challenges presented by life with courage and determination. In the modern era, the idea of the chosen one can be extended to ordinary individuals facing extraordinary circumstances. For example, frontline healthcare workers during a pandemic, activists fighting for social justice, or even entrepreneurs navigating the unpredictable world of business can be seen as chosen ones in their own right. Their trials may not be dragons or labyrinths, but the stakes are no less significant, and the courage required no less real. To see oneself as a chosen one can be both empowering and dangerous. While the belief that one is destined for greatness can inspire people to take bold actions and pursue challenging goals, it can also lead to a sense of entitlement or a messiah complex, where one believes their perspective or cause is infallible. The key to navigating this balance lies in humility and a willingness to learn from failure. The story of Icarus from Greek mythology serves as a cautionary tale. Flying too close to the sun in the belief of one's invincibility can lead to disaster. True chosen ones understand that the trials they face are not just tests of strength, but also tests of character. Rising to the occasion means recognizing one's limitations and the need for growth, rather than succumbing to arrogance or self-deception. At the heart of the chosen one's narrative is a call to action, to face one's trials head-on and transform them into opportunities for growth. This call extends beyond mythical heroes to touch every person's life. In everyday experiences, challenges such as personal loss, career setbacks, or existential crises can be seen as trials that invite us to rise above our circumstances. The question is not whether we are chosen, but whether we choose to confront the trials placed before us. To rise to the occasion is not just a matter of strength. It is an act of will. It is the decision to move forward despite fear, to persist in the face of adversity, and to embrace the transformative power of struggle. The chosen one's story ultimately teaches us that greatness is not bestowed. It is earned through the trials we face and how we choose to respond. Failure to rise to the spiritual challenges that life presents can have profound consequences, affecting every aspect of one's existence. The repercussions can manifest in stagnation, persistent suffering, missed opportunities for growth, and a sense of disconnection from life's deeper meaning. This section delves into the costs of avoiding spiritual growth and explores practical strategies for overcoming these challenges to avoid repeating the cycle of failure. When individuals shy away from spiritual growth, they unknowingly enter a state of stagnation. While comfort and familiarity may seem appealing, they prevent the transformative experiences needed for deep personal development. Stagnation is not a static state. It is a form of slow decay that gradually wears away at a person's vibrancy, leading to feelings of emptiness, lack of purpose, and discontent. In contrast, growth occurs on the edge of discomfort, where familiar boundaries are pushed and old habits are challenged. Avoiding this discomfort leads to missed potential as one's true capabilities remain dormant. The poet Rainer Maria Rilke once wrote, "The purpose of life is to be defeated by greater and greater things." Avoiding growth means avoiding the very experiences that push us toward our highest potential. In the end, the greatest tragedy is not that we failed, but that we never attempted to rise above ourselves. Spiritual stagnation often manifests as prolonged suffering. When individuals avoid facing their trials, they also avoid the very lessons these trials are meant to impart. Emotional wounds fester rather than heal, negative patterns persist, and the cycles of pain repeat. Unresolved issues become like weights, anchoring individuals in old experiences and preventing forward movement. The suffering may not always be dramatic. It can be a quiet, dull ache that lingers just beneath the surface, manifesting as chronic dissatisfaction or a vague sense of being stuck. This kind of suffering is insidious because it becomes normalized. Many accept it as a permanent condition rather than a call to growth. When spiritual tests are consistently avoided, it impacts not just the individual but also their life path, relationships, and overall sense of purpose. Life is full of pivotal moments where choices determine the trajectory of one's journey. Each time a person fails to rise to the occasion, an opportunity for growth is lost, and the life path that might have unfolded remains unexplored. The result is a life of quiet desperation, where one may achieve material success but feel spiritually bankrupt, as they are not living authentically or fulfilling their true calling. Relationships also suffer when individuals fail to confront their inner struggles. Unresolved fears, insecurities, and traumas can manifest as dysfunctional behavior, affecting how one relates to others. This can lead to a cycle of unhealthy relationships where the same patterns of conflict, avoidance, or emotional withdrawal persist. In essence, if one cannot grow, the relationships they form will mirror their inner state of stagnation, leading to shallow or tumultuous connections instead of meaningful and nurturing bonds. The erosion of a sense of purpose is perhaps the most devastating consequence of repeatedly failing spiritual tests. A person who continually sidesteps growth becomes increasingly disconnected from their deeper calling, making it difficult to find meaning in daily life. Purpose is not a fixed point, but a constantly evolving process that requires engagement with the challenges life presents. By avoiding these challenges, individuals lose touch with what makes life meaningful, resulting in a persistent feeling of emptiness, despite outward accomplishments or pleasures. In many spiritual traditions, the soul is understood as an entity that undergoes a journey of growth and evolution over many lifetimes. Whether one views this journey as a literal series of incarnations or as metaphorical stages in a single life, the idea remains that each person is meant to learn, grow, and transcend their limitations. Repeatedly failing to rise to the spiritual tests presented in life can have significant consequences for the soul's development. Avoiding spiritual growth is seen as a form of spiritual entropy, where the soul loses vitality, clarity, and direction. The more one resists growth, the more entrenched certain negative traits become. This can manifest as a hardening of the heart, where a person becomes less compassionate, less open to new experiences, and more resistant to change. In spiritual terms, this is often referred to as a karmic buildup, where unresolved lessons and past behaviors accumulate, making future growth more difficult. For the soul, these unlearned lessons may result in a recurring cycle of similar trials. Life may present the same type of challenges again and again, urging the person to confront what they have avoided. The lesson remains until it is learned. In this sense, the universe does not help out by rescuing someone from their trials, but offers repeated opportunities for growth. The more these opportunities are rejected, the more intense and challenging they may become. While the consequences of failing spiritual tests are significant, they are not inevitable. By developing awareness, practicing resilience, and seeking guidance, individuals can better prepare themselves to face these tests with courage and wisdom. The first step in overcoming spiritual tests is to develop awareness and recognize when one is being tested. Awareness requires mindfulness and the ability to observe life's events as they unfold, understanding that many experiences are not merely random occurrences, but opportunities for growth. Moments of crisis, frustration, or deep emotional pain often signal a spiritual test. The ability to step back and see these moments as growth points rather than merely negative events is crucial. To cultivate this awareness, practices such as meditation, mindfulness, and reflective journaling can be invaluable. Meditation quiets the mind and allows deeper insights to emerge, making it easier to perceive the deeper significance behind life's challenges. Reflective journaling helps track recurring patterns and can reveal how certain situations continually reappear, signaling unresolved lessons. By practicing mindfulness, individuals become more attuned to their inner state and can recognize when they are resisting growth or avoiding challenges. Resilience is the ability to withstand adversity and bounce back stronger from difficulties. It is not an innate quality, but a skill that can be developed through intentional practices. Resilience is built by actively engaging in behaviors and mindsets that promote strength and adaptability. The willingness to face discomfort is essential. Growth often occurs outside the comfort zone, So learning to tolerate discomfort and even embrace it as part of the growth process is a key component of resilience. This can be cultivated through physical practices like exercise, cold exposure, or fasting, which build mental toughness. Mindfulness and meditation help cultivate resilience by training the mind to remain present and steady during times of stress. These practices foster a sense of inner calm and enable individuals to observe their thoughts and emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Adopting a mindset that views challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats is essential for resilience. This involves reinterpreting failures not as signs of personal inadequacy, but as valuable learning experiences. Journaling and self-reflection encourage an active engagement with one's spiritual journey. Writing about daily experiences, emotions, and struggles can bring hidden patterns to light, allowing for conscious growth. One of the most effective ways to navigate spiritual tests is by seeking the guidance of mentors or spiritual teachers who have faced similar challenges. These figures can offer insights, perspectives, and encouragement that help individuals understand the deeper meaning behind their trials and provide practical advice on how to pass these tests. Supportive communities also play a crucial role in overcoming spiritual challenges. Engaging with like-minded individuals who are committed to growth can create a powerful sense of belonging and purpose. Communities provide not only support, but also accountability, helping individuals stay committed to their spiritual practices. A mentor can be someone who shares their experiences and wisdom, helping you navigate spiritual tests. This person doesn't have to be a formal teacher. They could be a friend, relative, or community leader who demonstrates wisdom and inner strength. Participating in a community dedicated to growth, such as meditation groups, book clubs focused on spiritual literature, or even support groups for personal challenges, provides a network of encouragement and shared experiences. Forming an accountability relationship with someone who shares a similar growth goal can help keep you on track and provide a regular reminder to stay committed to your spiritual journey. The consequences of failing spiritual tests are not to be taken lightly, as they affect not only the quality of one's current life, but also the potential for future growth. However, failure is not a fixed state. Each moment presents an opportunity to choose differently, to embrace discomfort, and to seek out growth. By developing awareness, cultivating resilience, and engaging with mentors and communities, individuals can increase their chances of rising to the occasion. Ultimately, spiritual tests are opportunities for profound transformation. The choice to face them with courage and openness, rather than avoiding them, determines whether one lives a life of stagnation or fulfillment.